Can we go to Joseph for your question, please?
My question is, play has been identified as a great way to teach children. Do you think that the education system should look seriously at how they can incorporate gaming into the syllabus?
I'm a great believer in games being good for you. When we arrive in this world, we interact with it as babies and learn through play, and we do not stop learning through playing. And when we get older, we love to solve puzzles like Rubik's Cube, and then we attach rules to the play, and it becomes games, like chess, and beyond. In the digital world, I think we really are wrong to prejudge games as being purely entertainment. They have fantastic educational attributes. If people could just park their prejudice against one or two titles and think what's happening cognitively when you're playing a game, these are life skills. You're solving puzzles and problems, you're learning intuitively, you're learning through trial and error. There's community built around games. It inspires creativity. You only have to look at children playing Minecraft, how they build, construct effectively digital Lego world and share them with their friends. There's all sorts of fantastic life skills being learned whilst in play. And you learn the social aspects of games and problem solving and community. So for me, games are very much part of a life skill, and you can use games to teach mathematics in a contextual sense. You can use games as a training tool, whether it's for the armed forces or for surgeons or pilots. And these are done obviously very safely by being pure simulations. So I think it's important that people see beyond games as being entertainment and that they're a fantastic learning tool. And let's not be afraid of people enjoying themselves in school. I think playful learning has a lot more impact because it's engaging. So many of our children are disengaged in schools because they're required to suffer a sort of Victorian broadcast model of education where the teacher talks at the child, requires them to write stuff down by rote and regurgitate them later on by memory in a random test, which is more about league tables than it is about learning. For me, league tables can often be using children as guinea pigs to assess schools, rather more about learning themselves. So let's get more collaboration with schools. Let's have children being part of a group learning experience. Collaboration is not cheating. It's how we work in the workplace. And let teachers, especially in computer science, become facilitators, where you hack your knowledge beyond the four walls of the classroom. So I think more play, more creativity, and more engagement and collaboration matches the natural way of children's behavior of the internet age.
Brilliant, thank you.
Danny, could we get your question, please?
Hi, Ian. My question to you is, I'm a student at university and I'm learning 3D modelling. And one question that's come to mind is, I can't see any way of getting into the industry from where I am at the minute. I don't have any contacts, I don't know anybody, and there doesn't seem to be anywhere near my area where I could go for experience.
Where are you based?
I'm in Manchester.
Well, I chair a games company in Wilmslow. That's not too far away from you. They've got 70 people there making mobile games. Clearly, there are organisations. There's UKI, the trade association for the games industry, and also Tiger, which historically supported the development industry. And of course, there's the internet. You can Google studios in your area and give them a portfolio of work if you have that open. There's a huge demand for skilled model makers in the games industry. I don't think the games industry historically has been very good at saying they are and what they are, and that they need new employees so much. But I think it's on you to just kind of project yourself. Find out where the companies are in your area and go knocking on their doors with your portfolio of work. If you can show them something that you're great at, and you're more likely to get a job than someone who just knocks at their door with a CV. For me, CVs come way down the pecking order to a portfolio of work to show you what you can actually do. But the best thing is to start Googling away.
I I'd just like to add on that as well. Is there a like a demand for concept artists and like character creation and all that sort of stuff in games
Yes,
today?
I mean, the point I made about Tomb Raider started off as a 2D sketch, and then years later became a multi-million pound franchise. So concept artists are absolutely key for creating that original piece of art that then is taken by the designers, the coders, and the artists to become the brand or franchise, hopefully down the world. But it all starts off with the concept artist. So if you are good at concepts, whether it's character design or environment design or games design, you are the seed of the creative process, and who knows what might come from that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ian.
I'll just add in a question from Isabel Woodward, who couldn't make it today. She's asking Ian, you seem to have had a very diverse career. Was there a particular job you found most enjoyable, or did you prefer the variation of work?
Well, for me, I'm mostly lucky enough to turn my hobby of playing games into a career of making them. So, for me, the most enjoyable part is the creative part. The games designs, the mechanics, the concepts, the thinking about what audience might enjoy, what we come up with, for me, is the exciting bit. I've learned business along the way. I think to be able to scale your business, you have to have an understanding of business. I would say I was the world's best businessman, but I like being a creative entrepreneur and teaming up with people to make things happen. But the bit I absolutely enjoy is the creative process.
And she asks, do you think that being both author and designer gave you an advantage in your field?
Well, I think I'm naturally creative, and that allowed me to be both an author and a designer. And clearly that's helped in my own career. But I enjoy telling stories, and I like entertaining, and I like to express myself and tell a visual tale. And if you can find your own audience, that's great. And I'm delighted to have been able to do that over my rather long career in games.
Right. Daniel, I'm going to come back to you for another question.
All right. Yeah, my next one would be if you have come across during your career, have you come across a user experience evaluation methodology that you prefer using, testing your games, basically? And if you have come across one, which is it, basically?
Well, I mean, user testing is totally different now. Obviously, in the console era, for me, it was mainly doing focus testing, watching groups of people, seeing what the bits they were enjoying, what bits they weren't doing, and then asking them questions after the gameplay session, what bits they liked, which bits they didn't like, did they like the character, did they try and get as much feedback from that sense view. But I think in the digital age, it's far more exciting because you can ask huge audiences, not just a room full of people, what they think about your game and the stumbling blocks within it, the style, the gameplay, the difficulty levels, the analytics from user retention. What's your day 1 retention, day 7 retention, day 30 retention. So you can build up an incredible amount of data. So I think the primacy of the game designer is being marginalized a little bit, not from the initial creative sense. Obviously, you don't have any data before you start off creating something, but quite quickly you can get some fantastic information, and then you can tailor your service, because games are now a service, to more reflect the audience's tastes and ambitions. It also means that you're not going to create any big barriers, because you can iron those out quite quickly. Therefore, it's more of a gradual learning curve, which more suits the audiences. Plus, you can naturally put in some pinch points to make them do stuff that you want them to do. So data is ultimately the most important thing you have in a mobile game now. And typically, you can do what they call A/B testing. You can serve one type of gameplay to one country during soft launch and another experience to a group of people in a different country and see how they compare against each other. And if one's having a much better time than the other, then clearly you know what you have to do before we go to full launch. So I think digital now gives much more meaningful data because of its size and rapid access to real data on an enormous scale. So today's better, of course.